Hi, welcome back to Election Central Brantford, and we're here for federal elections. Isn't that exciting? I'm excited, and our first conversation here is with Kevin Brandt
Hi.
from the Green Party. So how you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing well. How are you, Stephen?
Good. Welcome to the Polish Hall. Welcome
you.
to the Vets Room.
Right.
We're glad that you were able to make it out, and at such short notice. And we only have one filming day, so that's just kind of how we do it because we're doing it volunteering wise. So, but we really appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having me.
Kevin,
Yes.
I've known you for 4 years.
Yeah.
About that, I've seen you around and about doing all sorts of things, being involved with the community and everything else. So why don't you tell us about you? What brought you to Brantford?
Sure. My name is Kevin Brandt. I'm 32 years old. I moved to Brantford 4 years ago, going on 5 years ago, and it was actually a girl who led me to Brantford. We had a child. It didn't work out between her and I, so we separated, but I stayed for my son.
Good.
I didn't want to leave him.
Yeah. Well, and that's a very mature thing to do, right? So even though the relationship didn't work out, you're still there supporting and creating some great love for the child.
Sure.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. And what made you want to run?
It was actually Stephen Harper's Bill C-51, the Anti-Terrorism Act, that inspired me to run. I'm a politics nerd, so I watch Parliament, I watch Question Period very often, and I saw that Elizabeth May was the first parliamentarian to stand up and take a stand against C-51, and that inspired me greatly. So I already had a general idea of what the Greens stood for, but I decided to delve further into the Green platform knowing that it was an election year. And I read their vision, Vision Green, and I realized that the solutions in there are very realistic, very pragmatic, and not at all worthy of fringe status.
Got you.
Yep.
I totally got you. I just came back from Victoria, or BC,
Yep.
and I was just there about 5 weeks ago. Elizabeth May's everywhere. All the CBC signs are everywhere. Save the CBC. Elizabeth May. It looks really great on the island.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't get over it. So her support out there is large and,
We are
and well
pumped.
abundant. Yeah, and that's good. So how do you see yourself making a dent in Brantford?
It's really building on that momentum and hoping for that breakthrough that we believe will come one day. It's all about getting the green message out to as many people as we can constantly over time, and we will see that breakthrough.
Right, and what kind of breakthrough are you looking for? Because we know you're more than just green.
Yes, we're not a single issue party, absolutely.
Exactly. So let's talk about that for the
Okay.
moment. So because most people just think, oh, you're green, you're a bunch of tree huggers.
Yep.
But anytime I watch the debates, anytime I watch Elizabeth May in something, she is just nailing those guys to the wall.
Yep.
She has got it down pat. And I'm so impressed by her conversation. What can you be saying about Brandt? What can you see if the Green Party were to take Brandt? What could you do, or what do you see as Brandt in Green
You'd
Party's
see,
eyes?
first and foremost, respect and inclusion towards Six Nations. We would include them in all decisions that were made that regarded the area as a whole. And you'd see, again, the Paris, or the Grand River, reinstated back into the Navigable Waters Protections Act. So you'd see federal protection for our body of water that we are also proud of. And we'd see jobs created primarily through a green economy, through a sustainable economy. We'd see a lot more green collar jobs, as they say.
And what does that look like?
It looks like maintenance of solar, of wind.
So now, on that note,
Sure.
because I've been like looking at solar, wind, and what's the other one? That's the thermo.
Thermo, yes.
Thermo also. And I was told that if all the south-facing homes in Brandt were to get solar just in themselves, that we would generate enough power that Brandt Hydro then would have enough power to just sell to everybody
Oh,
else.
absolutely.
And that's just the south-facing
Yep.
homes, right, in Brantford. So yeah, I would love to see an initiative that we could do that, bring some type of green power initiative to Brantford, because like that would just be one more bill people don't have to pay for.
And it'd be a lot more jobs as well. For every $1 million invested into oil and gas, you create 2 jobs. For every $1 million invested into green energy, you create 15 jobs.
Wow.
So the green economy is really where job creation is going forward.
Okay, so then how would that look in Brantford? How do you see that in Brantford?
I see that, well, we used to be an industrial city. We
Yep.
can be again, not in the same way that we remember, though.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah, it's very
greener,
different.
sustainable way.
Yeah. Wow, we have the space.
We have the space, we have the people.
We do have the people.
We can do it.
Oh, I totally believe you on that. That's awesome. Wow, that's great. So, is there anything else you want to share with our audience? We still have some time.
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? Nothing about you as a person? You want people to know you for who you are? And
I'd like to press people to vote. That is probably the most important thing. This election is probably the most important election we face in many, many years. And a common concern I hear from people is that the vote for the Green Party is a wasted vote. I don't believe that any vote is wasted. Sitting in the Veterans Hall here, there are many people who have given their lives for our democracy. So to think that a vote could be wasted is kind of disrespectful to that sacrifice that people have made. Also, well, I guess that's about it.
well, so if the Green Party occurs so many votes, do they also receive more funding?
No, that used to be the case where your vote would translate to $2 to the party.
Okay, so
But,
that's
that has ended. The Conservative Party ended that. That vote
oh, okay. So that's now gone.
That's gone. However,
that's
a
unfortunate.
vote for the Greens, whether or not the Green candidate wins in that riding, is still adding to that momentum that is needed for the eventual breakthrough.
Gotcha. Awesome. So how do you see yourself playing with all the levels of government here in Brandt?
Greens are committed to cooperating across party lines, across governmental lines, to work for the benefit of all Canadians, not just for our supposed party base.
Yeah, because you got your municipal, not only just Brantford, but you also have Brant County.
Absolutely.
So you have all those, and also any of the chiefs that you want to be working with. So
Yep.
yeah, that's a lot. So you ready for that?
Ready for that, absolutely.
That's great. Well, do you want to go on to the questions?
Sure.
All right. So once again, we have our questions that we're going to ask. And you might remember what they sounded like last time during the provincials. We're doing the same questions because they're reflective and we want to know what they have to say. So, what inspired you to run, which you already touched on it?
Sure.
Stephen Harper and all that, or the conservative conversation.
Right.
But what else? You
What
have
else?
a son.
I have a son, yes. He's my motivation to run. I think of, as a progressive thinker and as a father, I think about what kind of country do I want to leave
Yeah.
for my son, for future generations. And I want to be able to look back and tell him that I tried my best to combat climate change.
And anything else that you'd be combating or creating for your son for a great future?
A good economy. He has to have a job one day. Affordable education, affordable healthcare
Yes.
is also important. It's just the general things that people need in their lives. The Green Party's hold dear to ourselves.
Gotcha. That's great. And what do you want your legacy to be if elected?
Oh, I'd like my legacy to be one of a politician who, with other politicians, worked across party lines to combat climate change. I would like future generations to look back and say that parliament, this upcoming parliament, was the one where Canada became serious about addressing climate change, about transitioning to that shift to green technology, to green sustainable economy.
Sustainable.
Yes.
Gotcha on that. So, and out of that, how do you see that transitioning to your son? How do you see that in, say, I don't know, his generation?
Right. His generation, they're either going to look back and say that we dropped the ball or that we stepped up and took the lead. And I hope they say the latter.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So, what can you say to encourage people to get out and vote?
I would say that there is no such thing as a wasted vote, that many people consider a vote for the Green Party to be wasted, but many Canadians have sacrificed a lot for our democracy, and that's a privilege that's not shared with many countries around the world. So we should not take that lightly. A vote for the Greens, even though that vote might not translate to the winning candidate, it still adds to the momentum that is needed for an eventual breakthrough. So vote your conscience. That's it.
Gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
that's a great message.
Yes.
And out of that conversation
Sure.
of voting your conscience, How do you see, like, or do you want to transform also the voting platform?
Yeah, a major part of the Green Party policy is electoral reform. We'd like to see a more proportional, representative type of electoral system.
That's awesome. And when do you see that coming into effect?
Well, we've got 3 out of the 4 big parties talking about it, so hopefully this is the last unfair election that we have.
I gotcha. Is there anything else you want to say to the people watching here and wanting to get to know Kevin Brandt?
No, again, just vote. That is the most important thing. Whether you vote for the Greens or vote for another party, just please vote.
Awesome. We appreciate that. Thank you. And also, you know, you're a father. I also know you got some ink. So anybody who's into the tats, you know, he's supporting our vets and so on.
Yeah, I'm a very proud Canadian.
Very
so
proud Canadian.
The maple leaf is important to me.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, no problem. And all the best to you. And we hope to see some good results.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we have more people coming up. So please stay with us. You're going to be seeing a lot more conversation with the other candidates. We'll be right back.